Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to my kitchen. Today is Friday. It's September 22nd. You will notice, if you look behind me, I didn't do anything yesterday. And the reason I didn't do anything yesterday is I've been under the weather. I got sick and now my husband has a sore hip and sore knees. But he was able to lay the paper down on the floor for me. So I'm going to start priming the ceiling today. Oh, okay. We're talking about extended rollers. I'm going to look and see what came with the kit that we got. With the...
It doesn't have a roller.
Yeah, it has the roller. I think it does.
It doesn't have
an extender? Okay. Yeah, we need to get an extender for the ceiling, depending on how much they cost. But my goal today is to get one coat of primer. I'm just doing the ceilings. I'm not doing the walls today because we need to let the ceilings dry first. Then once the ceiling dries, then I can go ahead and prime whatever wall. Like I said, I'm not going to prime all of the walls. I'm just going to prime a few of the walls. And floor covering that we're using is just like a paper. It's like a butcher paper, but it's not a butcher paper. It's actually a painter's paper that you lay down. And my husband actually bought it when we actually did do the living room in the other room. When we did the living room and the dining room, and he laid that on the hardwood floor. It protects the hardwood floor. Now you'll notice that the refrigerator, and let me turn you guys over to here, and the stove have not been covered yet. So what he did is he got these plastic drop cloths from Home Depot that we'll put over there just so that they can be protected from the paint. So again, today the goal is to do the ceilings, because I've also got to do over the sink. So I'm going to do that in a bit. I've got some exciting news. My husband's iPhone is slated to arrive today on Friday. So that'll be arriving today. Mine actually was delayed. It could ship anywhere from today to 2 weeks from today, which would be October 6th. And mine, because I ordered the iPhone Pro Max and I ordered the 512, that actually sold out, or pushed the Apple phone back almost into November for the delivery date. However, because I was one of the first AT&T customers that actually bought it, mine has actually been shipped, and mine should arrive sometime on Monday. So I'll have my new phone Monday. Means that the first video that I will be filming probably won't be until Tuesday. So the first one on the new phone that you guys will see will probably, hopefully, be Wednesday, depending on how everything goes with that. So I'm kind of excited about that. So, basically everything is ready to go now in the kitchen, except for, like I said, I have to cover the stove and the refrigerator. There is one wall that I still need to wash that it has not been washed, and that's over by the cabinet on the other side. And I'm going to turn you guys over on this side where if you guys remember when I had the toaster oven, and of course on this side was where my food processor was. That's actually the wall that has not yet been washed. And we still have to do that, and we have to wash the cabinets. Everything else has been prepared. I do need to tape down here, which I'll do later today. I'll finish taping that one. And everything else has been taped except for the window on the other side over on this corner. So that hasn't been taped on the bottom yet. This one in the center, I'm not taping the bottom because, again, the gap is too small. I can't get a brush in there to actually paint there. So that'll probably be, we'll have to go after the first of the month and get a very small paintbrush that can fit into that area. And like I said, there's a gap about that big, which really doesn't amount to much. So there are a few things you need to do before you start priming anything, other than you need to make sure your floors and your appliances, if you're in the kitchen, are covered. If you're doing another room, make sure you probably should take all of the furniture out of the room and put whatever cover you want on the floor. Now, if I was to do the dining room or the living room, well, the living room I could paint right now because I don't have much furniture in there. But if I was to do the dining rooms, I would have a problem because I have the two china cabinets and they are stacked. So what you probably would do is take everything out of the china cabinets and just move them more center in the room and cover them. We're not doing that, we're doing the kitchen. So everything basically is out of the kitchen that needs to be out of the kitchen. Anything that's still in the kitchen, I'm gonna move out, get ready, and you're going to need your primer. My primer, I'm gonna show you where my primer is. It is not that, that's the stucco is right there, but the primer is actually right there, and it just needs to be remixed because it's been sitting for almost 3 weeks now. We just need to mix it, and then we're gonna pour it into the paint bucket. Now I am going to be using a combination of a roller as well as the brush. I'm going to see how the roller does first and then do a brush. Especially, I'm going to want to do the brush especially for the ceiling over the sink, just because I've got the window frames in the way. As for this, I will have to do where the light fixtures are. I'm going to pull you guys back. I'll have to probably take a brush and go around the circle so that the paint doesn't actually get into where the wires are. So, that being said, let's get started. This is going to be a relatively simple process. It's just going to be the primer today. I'm going to let it dry for at least 24 hours before I put the next color or next coat of primer on the ceiling, which will happen sometime later on tomorrow. And then by Sunday or early Monday, I should be able to go ahead and put the actual paint on the ceiling. Like I said, the walls will be done next, and it'll be basically the same premise for that, where you need to just put the primer on where you're going to put it on, let it dry, and then start painting. So, like I said, I'm still on schedule to have the kitchen fully painted, hopefully by the end of next week. So, thank you for tuning in. Hit the like button, hit the comment button, and I'll see you on the next Cooking with Joel remodel project update. Okay, hi y'all. Welcome to my kitchen. It's still Friday. It's still the 22nd. But you'll notice there's been a change. I have put the first layer of the primer on the ceiling. I'm going to let this dry overnight, and tomorrow we're going to check it and see. I can tell in a couple of spots, especially where the lights are. I don't know how good you're going to see of that, but you can actually see the circle of this light. This is the one at the kitchen. This one is actually did a little bit better, but I won't know until it fully dries on whether or not I need to do another coat around it. This one over here definitely is going to need another coat of primer. I was able to prime both the kitchen ceiling as well as I also primed most of underneath the sink. There's a few places, and you can see it. I'm going to put my hand back to it over here that I actually need to hand paint that because the roller won't fit in there. And that's a little bit different of a painting. But the kitchen has been primed so far. The next thing to do is let it dry overnight. Like I said, I need to paint a little bit over here. And there are a couple of areas that I just couldn't get. Like I couldn't get really close to the window. You can see the little paint smears that are on the window. I'll go back and do that with the brush. That's not that big of a deal because that's going to actually probably, when it comes to putting the paint on, is going to have to be both rollered and painted. But everything else looks pretty good. Now, there are a few areas, I'm going to kind of turn you, I don't know how well this camera is going to pick them, and they're not going to pick it really well. There are a couple of areas on the ceiling where you can actually see the nails pop. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to have to be very careful when I go to put the coat of paint on the ceiling and see how that goes and go from there. I was very pleased at how the primer came out, and as you can tell, I'm now in the living room because my husband has the TV on and he's rinsing brushes right now with soap and water, and I used a roller extender for the kitchen. So that's going to conclude today's video. I probably am not going to be filming any tomorrow or Sunday because it's just self-explanatory, and I may end up taking a week or 2 weeks off of filming and not filming anything, or being on this side of the kitchen so that you guys actually don't get to see the kitchen until it's fully painted and I have the new furniture in and I do a grand unveil of the kitchen so you guys can see it. So anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and the subscribe button to get more great videos from me. Tune in next time for another kitchen remodel update.